Hi. Hi, it's May. It's wonderful to have you guys back and to bring you what's happening in the great world of music and song.
That's right, and we're delighted to have with us Malek Jandali, who is the first musician to arrange the oldest music notation in the world, which was discovered in Ugarit in 3500 BC. He's also an amazing composer and pianist, and we're joined here by his beautiful wife, Yasmin Jandali. Ahlan wa sahlan fikum.
Thank you.
I guess we'll start first. If you could kind of tell us about your background, the early years, and just how we ended up in the U.S.
Well, thank you for having me on the show. I was born in Germany, and then we moved to Syria when I was almost 5 years old, and then continued my early studies of music in my city, Homs, where there wasn't any music schools or conservatories. So during the high school years, I had to travel almost 2.5 hours to Damascus to take my weekly piano lesson.
Wow.
And that went all the way when I graduated from high school, graduated from that music conservatory, and then went to the Higher Institute of Music in Damascus for my college years.
MashaAllah.
Thank you.
I guess if you could tell us the story behind your album Echoes from Ugarit.
Correct. Well, shortly after graduating, I received a scholarship to the United States, to the North Carolina School of the Arts, where I shifted from piano performance to composition. And after many years of being away from home, you go back to your roots, and I thought the best thing to go back to my homeland and represent my rich heritage.
Absolutely.
And the music of Ugarit is on the clay tablets.
Can we take a look at actually a clay tablet?
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of those in the Shams marketplace. Can you explain the significance?
Yeah, basically this is the replica of one of the tablets. It's considered the oldest musical notation in the world. What I did after years of research, I took different studies and then arranged it for piano solo. And from that point, I went further to orchestrate it for the piano and the orchestra.
That's amazing.
And that's one of the ways to, again, tell the world that we actually had music and cherished it, and it's a universal language for all cultures.
You experiment not only with acoustic instrument, but you also do electrical sound. Electric sound, is that something new for composers?
Basically, I did a couple of film music for different TV series and documentaries.
How was that experience?
It was pretty cool. You have to be acquainted with the new technologies, with the MIDI. I have my own recording studio in Atlanta.
Which is you recorded in Russia, but you're producing it in the States now, isn't it?
Correct. After I interpreted the music and orchestrated for piano and orchestra, I went to Moscow and recorded the whole work with the Russian Philharmonic Orchestra. And after coming back, I took all the music files and started editing and mixing and mastering. Actually, we are mastering in Los Angeles with Jean Rad, and then mixing it with Dave Lawrence.
Excellent. Actually, we want to take a look at Jean Rad. I think now we have a tape that we want to show our viewers. You want to take a look at what?
Sure.
Malek, could you kind of explain what we were looking at?
Yeah, the first images were basically from Ugarit, Syria, which is an ancient city. Both, the Assyrian, the Phoenician, the Hurrians, used it as a base. It was a very important port where they, had libraries, temples, and playing a musical instrument was part of the education of the Mesopotamian intellects.
Mesopotamia, which is the oldest known civilization.
One of the oldest.
Where Iraq is now.
Basically, music was really important role in their lives, and that's one of my messages, to bridge the gap between cultures and tell people here in the States that Syria and our region is basically the birth of civilization and cultures as well as music.
Malek, knowing so much about our history musically and everything you were talking about now, would you say a lot of Syrians are privy to this, or is this just specialized knowledge?
I'm not quite sure. I can't talk for all people,
Right.
but I think it's not very well known, to be honest with you, because of the media. It doesn't really get the attention that it deserved. We all know about the alphabet that was discovered in Ugarit, and it was the Phoenician alphabet, basically 30 letters. But as far as music, I feel that there's a sense of ambiguity in representing our music, and I sense also that we are losing our heritage, especially in music. So that was an attempt to show the world, especially here in the States, that Syria and our rich land had music, and we had the notation. Basically, that tablet had instructions on tuning the lyre and the harp.
Wow.
It had also words, music notation.
So how old would something like that be?
This dates back to almost 3400 BC. Yeah, we're talking way before the Greeks. We're talking way before Pythagoras.
Did anything surprise you about that music from that time, being so old? I mean, was there anything that you were shocked to see?
I mean, I was just shocked for the fact that we had the music notation back home.
Wow.
That was a shock, for the Western heritage also. I mean, we all learned that, harmony came from the Baroque and the Renaissance area.
Yeah.
And when you have something that ancient that insinuates harmony and having instructions on accompaniment and words and music, it's pretty
When
it's
was it
pretty amazing.
discovered?
It was discovered in the late 20s. Many studies have been done since then. One of them is Dr. Ann Kilmer from UCLA. She spent almost her entire career trying to interpret the music, and then I studied all those research in the last few years, and then took it further.
You have your album there, and I think we have one of the pieces that we want to listen to that's coming up. If you could tell us what we're going to see right now.
Correct. This is basically one of the concerts that I made last year. It was part of my tour, which included Syria. And for the lack of having symphony orchestras in our countries, I tend to have solo piano concerts, and that was one of them.
Okay, we'll take a look at that.